Now, many of you already know that the traveling and leisure industry is one of the industries that have been impacted by the pandemic globally. This is the industry where we saw, of course, some of our favorite stocks or some of our favorite companies listed in the stock exchange dropping sharply. But the good thing is that we've been seeing some of these stocks, or most of the stocks in this traveling and leisure industry, showing a very good, strong recovery, which is something that is pretty amazing. I mean, some of the shares fell 70%, 50%. But now we are starting to see the recovery into these, of course, shares or into this industry, which is something that is pretty good. I mean, locally, you will know that there are companies like, of course, my favorite, Sun International, who, ladies and gents, their earnings for 2022, not even 2023. So, of course, earnings heading back towards pre-COVID levels, which is something that is pretty amazing. And the UN, ladies and gents, just yesterday, we read an article yesterday indicating that it looks like most of the countries in Europe and in Africa went back towards pre-COVID levels, and that is 2019 in terms of tourist inflows, which is something that, of course, makes me to be really excited. Now, this year, this industry is still expected to even perform or even do much better than 2019 on average. That is, it is expected, or companies in this industry are expected to do really well. Instead, the UN again said that this year they expect this industry to recover by over 2% when comparing to the kind of course, numbers they were in back in 2019. This means, or this just simply means, that there is an opportunity. If there are companies that you want to buy in the, of course, stock exchange, you need to also, of course, target the traveling and leisure industry, because the more we see this industry recovering, is the more we'll see, of course, the share price in some of our favorite companies in this industry also recovering. You will know that locally, ladies and gents, Sun International, like I said, it is one of the companies that I talk a lot about because I'm heavily invested into this company. I mean, this company, ladies and gents, as it stands, has got a market cap of 10.6 billion rands with a PE ratio of 13.6. Now, the dividend yield with this company, or that this company has, it's around 9.56% relative to where it's currently trading at, which is around 40 rands per share. This shows you that not only is this company going to continue improving in terms of their earnings and probably the share price also recovering, but it is also gonna pay or continue paying good dividends. You will know that with Sun International, they started paying, or they resumed paying their dividends towards the end of 2022, which is something that, of course, it was so good to see Sun International finally coming back to start paying dividends. And the good thing, like I said, is that with Sun International, for their 2022 earnings, they hit the kind of revenues they were reporting back in 2019 before the pandemic, which is something that is pretty amazing. And to know that the UN comes and say that most of the countries in Africa, Europe, they head back towards their pre-COVID levels, or towards pre-COVID levels when they look at their earnings or financials, it is something that is pretty amazing. When they look into the tourist inflow, it is something that is pretty amazing and makes me, of course, to think that Sun International, knowing the fact that they went back to their earnings head back to pre-COVID levels in 2022 or for their 2022 year, it means that 2023 we could easily assume that Sun International, ladies and gents, head back, or the kind of revenues or earnings they reported for the full year of 2023 are much better, or are above those earnings they were reporting in 2019, which is something that is pretty amazing. Now, you'll know that Sun International, ladies and gents, will discuss about their acquisition, or their recent acquisition, which they will finance by a loan, where, ladies and gents, they will be, of course, acquiring the company by the name of the Piedmont Group, who owns famous places like the Emperor's Palace, which is something that is pretty amazing. That acquisition will add into the current assets that Sun International has, because Piedmont, we know that they are generating total revenues annually of around, or of over 1 billion rands, which is something that is, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty good to see. Of course, Sun International continued expanding their gaming and hotels segments, which is something that, of course, makes me to be really excited. So to know that, of course, the European Union or the UN still expect, of course, the industry, or this industry, to continue growing and to surpass the kind of growth we were seeing pre-COVID, and that is in 2019. It makes me to be really excited, and it makes me to remain bullish, long and strong onto this industry. I mean, personally on the stock, I'm up 15.6%, which is something that is pretty amazing, because my average purchase share price onto Sun International is 35 rands and 20 cents. So this is a company that I'm going to continue to hold, and this is my big bet, or it continues to be my big bet for 2024, because as this traveling and leisure industry continue recovering, we are going to see this company continuing to do very well. Otherwise, ladies and gents, still when looking at this industry, they are seeing a very good, strong recovery into the Asian markets, which of course will bring a big boost into the traveling and leisure industry, because they are seeing more inflows into Asia, which is something that is pretty amazing. And the air connectivity, they are seeing it also increasing, which is something that of course it will boost the traveling and leisure industry globally. This is the reason why we are going to continue seeing, of course, companies shares in this traveling and leisure industry continue to recover, which is something that makes me to be really excited. Otherwise, like I said, the industry, or this is the industry that I like, especially locally, because ladies and gents, we are seeing companies like Sun International continuing to do well and also pay a good dividend over and above the, of course, returns that we might witness from the share price. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I'd just give you this quick update. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the likes button, comment and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell, so that at least to get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.